Welcome to Sunday Assembly, which is a secular celebration of the one life that we all know that we have. And our vision is to help everybody live life as fully as possible. So how many people are here for the very first time? Raise your hand and leave them up. Somebody turn around and give that person a high five. Woohoo! Welcome. We hope that you leave today with some insights and some community building and just a sense of happiness. So cool. So we're going to move on to our speaker. I had to take pictures of my computer screen. Okay. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest today, Ruby Ming. She is a visual arts advocate and has been for over 20 years. She's on a mission to cultivate community, ignite curiosity, and spark joy through engagement with the arts. By leading expressive art-making activities, guiding creativity booster workshops, and giving talks about cultural context, her aim is to provoke unconventional connections to art across cultures, time, and technology. And I was supposed to say that you are the docent at...
I'm a docent at the Asian Art Museum.
At the Asian Art Museum. So please welcome Ruby Ming.
Thank you very much. According to the well-regarded Torrance test for creativity, which has been in existence since 1958, from 1960 to 1990, creativity scores were on the rise. But since 1990, creativity scores have been on the decline, especially among children ages 6 to 12. So, does that matter? So you don't knit, so you don't enjoy art, so you don't connect to these things. Who cares? What difference does it make? We're all so busy. Does it really matter? It turns out it actually does matter, because being engaged in creative activities can really benefit your overall health and your mental acuity. So how does it do that? Let's take a quick look at the brain. The left side of the brain is mostly oriented towards mathematical, logical thinking in words. And the right side of the brain is mostly intuitive and imaginative and creates unusual connections and more holistic in thinking. So when you're engaged in everyday activities, you're using both sides of your brain all the time. However, when you're at work, a lot of work-related activities are going to favor your left side of the brain. If you think about it, you have to be on task, you have to follow a schedule, you need to follow protocols, things need to be in sequence, you're checking dates, you're checking amounts, you're checking dollars, you're checking things like that, and things have to be organized. So a lot of work that we do favors the left side of our brain. It turns out that if you're engaged in artistic or creative endeavors, you're using more of your entire brain. Both sides of your brain become very active. So for example, if you're playing music, you do need to use the left side. That's how you stay on track. That's how you have to use your fingers. You have to know which finger is going to make which note. You have to do it in a sequence. However, at the same time, you have to infuse the feeling, interpretation. If you're singing in a group, you need to be mindful of the other people and what they're doing, and you might adapt to that situation. So you're going to use more of your left and right brain. By using more of your brain, you're creating more connections between both sides, and you'll actually generate new connections. You'll actually make more neurons. This is really important for brain health. Another healthy aspect is being engaged in creative activities. You start to get into a meditative state. Some of you may have experienced this, where the cares of the world start to flow away. You're so focused in the moment on just what you're doing. It helps you relax. This is important because meditative states help you reduce stress. And high stress is associated with heart disease, Alzheimer's, and depression. So, of course, diet and exercise play a huge role in these things also, but in terms of brain health, it's really helpful to have a meditative state and have less stress in your life. That's really good for your brain. And a third area is it improves your mood. There was a study of 3,500 knitters all over the world. You know, knitting isn't necessarily a high art form, but even just a craft like knitting, the people who knitted more expressed that they were in a better mood more often. and that they also reported higher cognitive function. So just the fact that you're engaged in a creative activity can help you. The reason is partly because when you're making something, you actually have to do a sort of self-reflection about what you're doing and what you're trying to do that you don't do in hardly any other kind of activity. So it really makes you think a little bit more about where you are, what you're doing, what your goals are, and self-assessment all the time. And all of that helps with resiliency and self-management. So it helps you manage painful situations, emotionally charged situations a little bit easier. So it actually helps with depression. So now that you know that some of the benefits of having a creative life, what are some of the characters? Let's take a look and see what creativity actually is. So creativity is the ability to, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the ability to think of new things, new ideas, and make new things. So the first part is thinking of new ideas. Now what's great about this is that our speaker had the perfect entree. It turns out that you just being exposed to artistic and creative endeavors will be helpful. And the reason for this is because hopefully you'll start to think in a different way. If you just go to a museum, and if you just go to a concert, and if you just read a book, it'll help activate those parts of your brain. So if you're reading a book of fiction, most of us will start to visualize. Visualization is a right brain activity. So you're reading words, which is a left brain activity, and you're visualizing a new world, and that's a right brain activity. So you're already getting the benefits, and you didn't even make anything. So just attending a concert, reading a novel, going to an art museum can help those neurons form and get you going. So thinking is good. But then of course you start with thinking, and then typically, as our speaker did, you move on to making. So making something new is an important part of the creative process. Making something new is often, you're often inventing something. And so arguably the most famous inventor artist was Leonardo da Vinci. So let's take a look at some of the characteristics of Leonardo. First of all, he was insatiably curious. He always wanted to know more. It wasn't enough to see the surface of a musculature of a person. He wanted to examine that more carefully. So he did dissection, which at that time was not allowed, but he did it anyway. All those images of the cats, just one wasn't enough. He needed to know more. He needed to know more. So artists are typically insatiably curious. One thing leads to another thing, and you find out more. Another aspect is comfort with ambiguity. You don't know how it's going to come out, but you do it anyway. And this is really important for resiliency and perseverance and acceptable risk-taking. If you're comfortable not knowing how it's going to be, but you just keep moving forward, that's a very key trait of creative people. And also personal expression. Nobody else in the world is you, and only you can make what you make. So we look at one of Leonardo's most famous works, probably the most famous work, and one of the most famous works in the entire world. We look at this piece of this painting today, and some of us kind of just, what is the big deal with this? Well, at the time, this was a huge big deal. This very soft, here you can see, yes, the paint's crackled. There's a lot of crackling from many, many layers of varnish. But you can see the very, very smoothness. Even enlarged this size, you can't see a brush stroke. The smoothness and the gradation from the darker area to the light area, it's unbelievably smooth. That was his skill, and that was, other people were doing similar work, but this is really high, fine quality. And of course, the Mona Lisa smile. We don't think about smiling in portraits today very much. We're all encouraged to do that. Everybody say cheese. But at that time, nobody smiled in a portrait. In fact, during this time period, hardly anybody smiled in a painting at all, ever. And so to have this just very cryptic little smile was actually groundbreaking and completely unusual. So only Leonardo could paint this. This is a totally self-expressive, personal, individualistic point of view. And that's one of the main characteristics of artists. So what is art making about? We've looked at 3 characteristics of artists. What is the art making process like? Well, the art making process always involves creating something brand new. It doesn't matter if you're spray painting a chair in your backyard. It's something that nobody else has done before, and you've just created something nobody has seen before. So art making is always generating something new. And the process also involves a lot of connections. So every single one of these is a ceramic vessel. If you needed to make a ceramic vessel, all the different things you might think about, these were all created in different time periods for different reasons. So this crossover between a functional item which needs to hold a liquid and technology, how will you fire this piece of clay? During some periods, you could fire things up to 1200 degrees for porcelain, and in other areas, in other time periods, you could only fire things up to 800 degrees. So you'd have a big difference there. The glazes, the society you're in. So you're connecting all of those things just through a pot. You know, you've got this goofy little frog pot there. But just think about, somebody actually had to think of that. I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of making a teapot look like a frog, and especially in this manner, with the eyeball sticking right on top. So even if it's silly and goofy, it's still somebody's expression that's tied together nature and science and technology and societal concerns. The one on the bottom right is actually designed for tourists. The other thing that artists do is they have to do a lot of problem solving. So artists see this, a big boulder, and somehow they come up with this. There's so much problem solving involved with this. So on the upper left, how do you create this figure and have it stay balanced? You've got these wings out of stone hanging off of the back. Why doesn't it fall over? Or this man in the center, I think that's bronze on the bottom, so how do they attach the stone on top? Or is it a stone? Maybe it's actually more bronze. And the one on the other side, on the right side there on the top, all of those things balancing. And of course, Mount Rushmore, how are you going to carve 60 feet of granite? So that's an engineering marvel. All of these problem solving, every single step along the way, even if you're just spray painting a chair. Where are you going to do it? What color are you going to use? How will I not get the spray paint all over the place? There's a lot of problem solving steps going on. So what are some of the conditions that will help you with your creative endeavors? One is you have to set aside some time. Lots of time. Lots and lots of time. It takes a lot of time. You know, in this case, sort of years to get from one point to another point. Slow and gradual. And the enjoyment, it takes a lot of time to get to that place where you know a lot of things. All of that curiosity, you need to do research, planning, doing the problem solving, doing drafts, going back and doing revisions, keep going, moving forward, depending on the size of your project, tiptoeing into it a little bit. So it takes a lot of time. Another condition is a place. Now, you can make art anywhere. Depends on what you're doing, so it doesn't really matter. But it is helpful to have a place. So this woman in the upper left, she's sitting outside of a shop knitting. She probably does this every day. So that even though you might not think of that as her knitting studio, for her it's her knitting studio. She's very comfortable there. She has that big bag, that big basket over there, it's full of yarn. And she sits there, look how happy she is. She's sitting there knitting. She probably has her favorite knitting needles. And that's okay. You could be outside. This on the bottom, you have this very sort of sparse environment. This artist apparently likes things to be very clean. So it doesn't matter as long as it works for you. But if it works for you, it will help propel you and keep you going. The other thing is having the right tools. Again, this doesn't have to be expensive tools. It's just whatever you need to get your project done. And you can always move forward with your supplies and get more professional level supplies as you go. But knitting can be started easily. People are really fascinated by these coloring books now. You can get really inexpensive pencils and markers. So you don't need to have fancy equipment, but you do need to have something. And so having a place and a space and the equipment to do your art making is one of the conditions of helping you have a more creative life. So artists are curious, comfortable with ambiguity and self-expressive. Art making is generating something new, making unconventional connections and solving problems. And art making requires time, place, and tools. And why would you need to do this? Because creative activities support memory and cognitive function. It enhances your mood, it reduces depression, and it can release stress and help induce a meditative state. So there are many benefits to leading a creative life, and everybody should go out and make a little art and get a little happy.
Thank you, Ruby. That was wonderful. I will say one of my favorite art-related things is I have the cuss word coloring book. Highly recommend it.